Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to our channel. This week we found an absolute gem on the Murray River. We think you're really going to love it. So why don't you go and get yourself a cold drink, get your feet up for the next 30 minutes or so and come and join Ali and I for the adventure.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures?
Well, I'm going to say it, Ali and I have absolutely struck gold. We decided that we want to stay on the Murray River over Christmas and we have found a beautiful spot. We're just outside the township in New South Wales of Corowa, but we are on the Victorian side of the Murray, but Corowa is the local shops, I suppose. We picked up a little bit of work there at the Woolies too, but yeah, that's just so we can afford a little bit more fuel as we move on further through January and into February. But anyway, just a little bit about the paddock here. Very, very popular apparently during Christmas time, and that's what all of our subscribers told us when we said we're going to stay on the Murray. Look out for the crowds. But I've got to say, we are 3 days out from Christmas at the moment. There's probably about 10 vans down here spread right out because this is a huge area to come and stay. Beautiful green grass and it's right on the river. Check out our site. I cannot believe how quiet it is out here. It's a beautiful place, just the birds in the trees and just the water running down. It looks like there was an old weir or something down there, but I later read that they put snags in the river, and the reason they put the purposeful snags there, like big logs and things like that, is to encourage fish and turtle life back into the river, and yabbies as well. So I'm going to throw the yabby pots in. I've got a couple of chicken frames in there and my yabby pot, so I'll chuck those in. The only problem I've got is the current of the Murray River. I don't know whether it's like this all of the time. It's really, really strong. In fact, I jumped in a little inflatable bloody ring the other day and started drifting down the river. So I eventually got back in, and now what I've done just on the hot days is I've tied the inflatable ring to a string, and I'm sure you'll see that a little bit later on. Just here behind me is probably the biggest gum tree I've ever seen in my entire life. This thing is bloody enormous. I'm going to drop a photo of Ali standing next to the tree just to give you some context as to how big this bloody tree is, but it is magnificent. But the question I had for Alison the other night, I know we never ever find these things out, was how many birds do you reckon have landed in this tree over its lifetime? Because this thing must be at least bloody 400 or 500 years old. It is huge. Last night I pulled one of the fish traps off the back, or one of the yabby pots off the back, and we threw it in. I had an old chicken frame, just see how we go. Apparently here in the Murray you can get yourself a couple of freshwater crays. There is a legal limit to them, like their size and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure what that is, but for me it's just a bit of a catch and release to see if I can actually catch something. Anyway, I'll drag it in and we'll check it out. What do you reckon, Al?
I think you might be. I think you might get one, yeah, but whether it's legal in it's another thing.
Actually put the pot right back up here on the bank.
Oh,
look at him. I did.
Hang on, let me just see if I can get him on the camera. Oh, you did get one.
Check him out.
Cool.
Now, as I said, I'm not real sure what the legal limit is for these things at all. And I'm not real sure what he does with those nippers, but we're going to find out. But I'll get him out. I'm just going to put him back into the water. Yes. But he's a decent size. You have to be a good... He's got his tail curled up at the moment. I'd want to say he's probably about 8 or 9 inches long. But as I said, I'm not sure what the legal size of these things is, but I know there is a legal size to them. Anyway, let's get him back into the drink and live to fight another day.
Oh, mate.
Those nippers are pretty...
I was going to say, don't get too close. There you go, mate.
He's off. Well, I can see him take it. Look at him go.
Good on him.
Oh well, there you go. Yabby, or not yabby, crayfish, #1. That's fantastic. So I'll find out what the legal limit is, and if I can get a bigger one, you know, we're eating cray for dinner tonight.
Just before I give a bit of a tour around Corowa, I'd just like to say I've had a few comments about me wearing sunglasses all the time. I've got to be very truthful. I've just had a prescription put into the sunglasses, which I've never had before, have I, Elle?
No.
And I bloody keep leaving them on my face all the time, because when I look through them, it just looks like my glasses, but I'm going to make a conscious effort to get rid of them and start wearing my glasses again.
That would be nice.
It would be. Anyway, and again, I'll give you a quick look around here. We're at the dump point, water resup point and rubbish point. So if you're camping anywhere around the Corowa area, this is your nearest dump point and where you can come and get some water. There's also some beautiful parks down here where the kids can come and have a run around, kick a footy or even have a barbecue. It's absolutely fantastic, this part of town. Ali and I have been off grid now for about 3 weeks, or living out by the Murray River out there in the police pace for about 3 weeks, and we do take the opportunity to resup our water when we can. We just do it by the jerry cans, and I'm going to show you how I fill that back into the caravan a little bit later. But here in Corowa, they've got a great spot. You can come down, there's a dump point, there's water access. If you are coming for water for your caravan, you'll find some taps on either side of the toilets. I'll just plug in some pictures of them here. You need the tap head, so that universal tap head that you buy at Bunnings, you're definitely going to need that. But if you can get your hose to stretch across to the barbecue areas, which are directly opposite the toilet block, you'll find there's a tap over there you can use all the time. That's the one that we use to fill our jerry cans with. In the park that is opposite the dump point, if you just walk down to the end, to the water's edge, you'll find a great place that you can go swimming for the whole family to enjoy. Very, very popular. There's even a few kids jumping off the bridge today. I've got to say, it might seem like I'm filming a lot of pubs when we walk through the streets of these towns, but to be very honest with you, and we know, and a lot of you know, there is a lot of pubs in the streets of these towns, and the buildings are generally, you know, they just take you back to yesteryear. And what I really love about the country ones is they don't muck around them, they don't change them, they leave them exactly the way that they were, and that's brilliant. Except for the ones that burnt down, of course. This is the old Rex Theatre here in Corowa. It's now a Dimmies, but I tell you what, I'd love to see these back in their heyday, like when they were the major entertainment for the town. There would have been big nights out had in here. As we showed you out in the street, the Dimmies is the old Rex Theatre, and you can still see the remains or the bones of the old theatre here. I'll give you a bit of a look around while I'm talking. But you can see here, this is the stage, or where the projection area was, I suppose. The curtains are still there, and all the artwork on the walls. And the other thing that we noticed is it must have been a skating rink at some point, because there's a sign up that says skate at your own risk. Well, I've got to say, that was really interesting. We spoke to one of the shop assistants in the Dimmies, and she said it's been a Dimmies for about 30 years, wasn't it, Elle?
Yes, 30 years.
And before that, it was a skating rink, so we did see the sign right, and she told us that when she was growing up, this is where they used to come skating, and before that, it was the theatre. And fortunately, the Victorian, or the New South Wales National Trust has stepped in and won't let them touch anything inside the building, and left it the way that it was in its original, well, the bones of the building are still there, but it's great to walk in and see. So pop in, grab yourself a bargain while you're in there, and check out the old theatre. It's really worth the walk in. Something we've really been enjoying as we've walked through the streets of Corowa, like a lot of little towns that we've walked through since we've been in this part of southern New South Wales, northern Victoria, is not all of, but a lot of the shops closed down for the entire Christmas break. I reckon there should be much more of it. If you've never watched our channel before, Ali and I like to live off grid for long periods of time. The place we're at the moment, just down by the Murray River, we figure we'll be down here off power, off water, all of those sorts of things for about the next 15 to 16 days. So at some point throughout that process, we definitely need to refill our tanks with water. We have a really simple system to do it. I'll show you how we get it done. So when we left for our big lap, we went out, we invested in a Rule inline pump. Now you can use these for water, you can also use them for diesel. Of course you'd need a separate one if you're going to use both. We only use ours for water. The other thing I bought with that is just a couple of metres of just some hose, which is drinking water quality. And then I went down to J-Car and I purchased myself an inline switch, which I just connected in to a 12-volt plug. Let's plug that in the back of the car. Once we're set up ready to go, I'll show you how we do all this, and just pump the water across into the caravan. might be able to hear the pump running in the background there. It's pretty efficient. It runs, I think, at about 17 litres a minute or something like that, but it only takes a couple of moments or a couple of minutes to get rid of a 22 litre water jerry. And you can see the water going. Here's the flow. There you go, look at that. So it's very handy. It's strong enough to run it through your filter if you need to filter your water before you put it in. And from time to time, I'll hook it up out of a jerry and I'll take it up and I'll use it to hose off the solar panels. So that's it. We'll put about 44 litres of water back into the caravan. It took less than about, I don't know, 5 minutes to do the whole lot. It's a pretty simple process, but it keeps you off grid a lot longer. One of the things that we are thinking about investing in the future is just a bigger water bladder, so we don't have to do as many runs. We find that the extra 40 litres that we put into the caravan will last us about 2.5 to 3 days before we need to resup those, but it's just to keep that water level topped up. So if we're going by a town or somewhere we can get reliable drinking water from, then I have the jerrys in the back of the ute. I just take them with me and just fill them up as we see it. But yeah, if you can recommend a good bladder that you think might suit our style of travel, we're looking for something around 100 litres, let us know and we'll check it out. So we're out and about for the day from our camp up on the Murray River. We thought we'd go for a drive down to Beechworth and take in some of the beautiful towns that you find here in northern Victoria. But on our way to Beechworth this morning, we saw a sign that said Woolshed Falls. So we thought, well, I'll hang the turn, come in and check them out. And I've got to say, they're pretty good. You can even come swimming here. This part of the walk at Woolshed Falls was fairly interesting. They call it the Granite Water Race. I'll give you a look at what it looks like. All of that was hand cut and it was designed to divert the creek while they were gold mining down in the plunge pool or the waterfall, which is yeah, pretty fascinating. But you can still see the drill marks in the rock and you can also see where they placed the explosive. Very, very interesting to come and have a look at. We left the falls and headed into Beechworth. Make sure when you come into town you visit the information centre. They give you plenty of ideas for different tours or things to see and do while you're in town. We were fascinated by the old buildings that you'll see directly across the street, particularly the old gold storage area where they shipped out 14,000 ounces of gold a week via stagecoach. That's equivalent to $200 million worth of gold in today's money every week. No wonder there were so many bushrangers hanging around. And the other place that we found fascinating was the telegraph station, where they have a small museum and you can look at some of the old communications equipment they used to use and also some of the telephones that we used to use. And the other thing you can do while you're in there is you can have a message sent anywhere in the world in Morse code via the telegraph. Just before lunch we headed into the famous Beechworth honey shop. What a great place to come and visit. Got a brilliant retail store at the front with so much honey it's very hard to choose, but they keep it pretty simple for you. You can go and taste any one or all of their 40 flavours to help you make that choice.
What was that, sorry?
What do you think of that sausage roll there?
It was very nice, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was very cheap, actually. Very reasonable.
It was. I've got to say, we've been to a couple of pie shops or bakeries as we travel around Australia, and I've got my pecking order, but I'm just going to put this out there right now. Beechworth is sitting well and truly at the top of the pack. The steak and pepper pie was absolutely delicious. If you've got a better pie shop, let us know in the comment section.
I think as you go in the door, they say it's worth the drive.
Oh, it's definitely worth the drive. Well, one of the hardest things that you do when you live off grid for a long time, or you're on the road for long periods of time like Ali and I are, is keeping all your gear clean. We keep it serviced, but it's very hard to clean it. We find car washes very few and far between, but I thought we're camped here on the banks of the Murray right now. I'm going to take advantage of it. So I've got my Rule pump, this one here. This is the same one I use to transfer my water into our caravan. and it's got a sump on the end of it, but when I look at the bottom of the river here, there's a lot of muddy water or mud on the bottom. I don't want it sucked up through that sump. So I'm going to protect it. I'm going to throw it into half a milk carton. I'll show you how I do all this in a second. Drop it in, and then I'm going to connect up my 20-metre hose and see if I can get enough pressure out of it to wash the caravan. Anyway, we'll find out in about 10 minutes whether it works or not. Things first, I'm just going to cut up the milk carton, so there's the sharp side. So my plan is I'll just zip tie the pump into the carton or the bottom of the carton here, and then drop it all into the water, and hopefully that's enough to keep the sump out of the water, but at the same time allow water to continuously flow through the pump. Anyway, we'll give it a crack, see what happens. So there's run me zip tie through there, and I'll sit the pump into the zip tie and do it up. Done. So there's the pump inside the bottom of the milk carton. That shouldn't come loose. Then I'll just attach my 20-metre hose to the end of the pump here, flick it on, and see if we can get water to come through the hose. Alright, so I've attached the hose now onto the rule pump. Let's chuck it in the water and see how it ends up. Pump inside the end of the milk carton in the water. Hopefully all this works. I'll flick it on in a minute so we get some water out the end of the hose. I'm just going to pop my pump on now with the inline switch. So I'll put that on and hopefully get some water come through. Oh, look at that. That's not too bad. Now I won't be able to use obviously a hose head on there because it's not going to have enough pressure, but I reckon the old squirty, that'll be enough to get me started on washing the caravan this afternoon. I have an unlimited supply of water. Alright, what do you reckon now? Not bad, eh?
Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The rule pumps, I think they run at about, about 17 litres a minute or something like that. But it's just enough pressure if you use your finger in the right spot to get you enough hose to maybe give the van at least a reasonable wash to keep it clean.
Well, it's not too bad. It's not perfect, but it helps get a layer of dust off.
Oh, it certainly does. And you get, like, under these trees and shit, you get a lot of like gum and stuff out of the trees, so you need to get a lot off, otherwise it's going to destroy your paintwork. But this is the first time I think we've washed it in, what, maybe since the last time it rained. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, so just it's a good opportunity to do it, and we thought we'd take advantage of the river. And what I can't believe is how well that bloody pump's working. It's going gangbusters. Well, that was a very successful mission. Ellie's just finishing off around a couple of tyres here. Here she is. That rule pump was great, wasn't it?
It was very good, yes. But it's certainly taken a layer of dirt off the caravan for us, because we were getting to the point where we couldn't even see outside the windows. They were so dusty.
Yeah, I've got to say, it was pretty feral, but this has done a really great job. This is as clean as I get it at home. I'm not saying I'm a good or a bad cleaner. I'm just saying it's as clean as what I get it at home.
I think you usually do a slightly better job.
We'll wait till it dries out, we'll be able to tell then. Anyway, I'll give it a 15-minute break. I'll probably have a beer or something, and then I'm going to go and do the car. So that's it, car and caravan clean. It was so easy to do. That pump was so bloody handy. I never thought it'd work to pump water up the bank from the river, probably about 2 metres, then run it through 20-foot of hose and able to extend up to the roof of the caravan. That's a fair bit of work it needed to do, but it cleaned everything perfectly. And yeah, we're really happy with the result. So we're definitely going to be doing it again in the future. Well, here we are, still on the banks of the Murray River. It's a beautiful night. We've got a great fire going. We're enjoying a little bit of cake courtesy of Enzo and Deb, the couple that we met at Edamaga.
Yes, we did.
Well, we actually met them in Albury, but they come out and met us in Edamaga, and they come out yesterday and they bought some morning tea along, and we're bloody slaves to Woolworths. Anyway, we're going to kick back, we're going to enjoy a bit of cake, we're going to have a couple of drinks, watch the sun go down, and wish in the new year in about 3 hours' time.
Yes, we will. Sorry we missed you, Deb and Enzo, but thank you so much.
Well, good morning, everyone, and this is going to be a little bit belated by the time you see it, but Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everyone.
It's New Year's Day today for us, but certainly it won't be for you. I think we're going to be about 3, maybe 4 weeks behind.
Okay.
We'll be somewhere in that range anyway. So we decided today we're going to go for a drive back out to Beechworth. Now, you would have seen earlier in the episode, we've been out there already. But there's just so many things to do out there. We couldn't do it in the 4 hours that we were there. In fact, when we were at the Tourist Information Centre and the lady asked, how long are you going to be here for?
Yes.
We said about half a day, and she looked at us weird, and she marked on a map a little 200-metre walk because she thought that's as much as we'd see. And it's pretty much all we did see. So we're going to go back out to Beechworth this morning. We're going to do the prison tour. That should be really interesting.
Yes, you're looking forward to that. It is interesting.
Certainly. It's been in operation. Geez, I think they had Ned Kelly in there for a while, and his mother, right up until 2004. So that'll be very interesting to go and have a look at, and we'll take you along for that. $28 for an adult, $22 on a concession, and you can get a family pass to go and do it. The tour takes about 50 minutes. So we're looking forward to that. And then on our way back, we're going to stop at the beautiful town of Chiltern.
Yes.
Anyway, come along for the day. It should be pretty good. Cell 30 at Beechworth is the only one they know. They can confirm that Ned Kelly stayed in this. It's quite small, it's very, very dark. There's no lights in here, of course. Well, that was our tour around the Beechworth prison. It was pretty good. What do you reckon, Al?
I actually quite enjoyed it. I wasn't sure if I would, but the tour guide had lots of stories to tell. It was quite interesting.
Yes, Graham, his name was. He was very engaging too.
He was very engaging.
Yeah, he really made the tour. It only goes for 50 minutes. You probably went a little bit of overtime, but there was another tour that was directly after ours that was packed, so he was pretty keen to get that one started. But it was certainly well worth doing if you come to Beechworth. Go and have a look around the old prison. There's plenty of old stories in there. He talks about the executions that occurred.
Yes, a famous or infamous residents of the jail at the time and how it all started. It's quite harsh conditions for the prisoners, that's for sure.
Very harsh. Yeah, it was originally started to be built, I think it was in 1859, he said, and it was completed by about 1864. But the prisoners who were waiting to be locked up in the then being built jail were just chained to the trees out the front.
Yep.
And they were left to go through all the seasons, and it snows in Beechworth in the winter, and it also gets extremely hot during the summer. They didn't seem to care. They had them locked up, and everybody was happy. But
I don't think the prisoners were happy, but
no, I don't think they wouldn't have been too happy at all. But yeah, stand there and sit there, and well, probably were happy once the prison was built. They could get inside, but yeah, still a very terrible place, and it operated right up until December 2004. So
yes, it's not that long ago that it was shut down.
No, it wasn't that at all, and it's housed people like Ned Kelly was there, his mum was there for a while. Yeah, quite an interesting tour to go and take if you come into Beechworth. So stupidly, New Year's Day, we just volunteered to do a little bit of work for Woolworths. We're going to go and do that this afternoon. So it's cut down our tour time a little bit, but it's going to give us probably another couple of weeks on the road just to work this afternoon, so we're quite happy to do that. We're going to go into the township of Chiltern now. We're going to go for a bit of a walk through the streets. It's a very historic town. I think they first discovered gold out there in about 1859. And you can tell just by looking at the buildings when you come to these old towns, what were the gold mining towns, because they look good, don't they? Like they're full of history, they're good, well-constructed buildings, lots of banks, of course, and lots of pubs. So we'll go for a walk through Chiltern and give you a look around. One of the things that we noticed when we're up in Beechworth, and it's the same down here as in Chiltern, is, I don't know who does it, when they decorate the town for Christmas, have all these crochet decorations which fit over the top of rails on the side of the street, on the posts that hold the building verandas up, all sorts of gear. It's quite interesting to come and see. I think this is the first time I've ever seen a grapevine growing as a part of a facade to a shop, and it's absolutely beautiful. Check this out. What did you think of our walk through Chiltern now?
It's quite pretty actually. It'd be good to come back on a non-public holiday day, if I can put it like that, and see it with all the shops opened and it bustling. It looks like a great little town.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot closed here today because it's New Year's Day. But we do notice a lot of signs in the shop windows to say they'll close the entire Christmas period, which I love. I love the idea that people just shut up shop and go on holidays and enjoy, you know, time with their families or go camping or whatever it is that they do. But it is a beautiful town to come look at. Very historic. I think one of the oldest buildings I've ever seen here was established in 1817, which is very, very early in the piece.
Yeah, they do walking tours or self-guided tours. They do a lot of the from paddock to plate type of concepts, so it's really quite a cute little town to come and visit. They've got a caravan park.
Yeah.
It's a be a good place to base yourself. Haven't checked out the caravan park though, so, but yeah, lots to do by the look of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Alrighty. Well, we finally made our way into Rutherglen. We've been planning to come here for about bloody 5 days, haven't we?
We have, but we've been a bit busy with working.
We have, yes. Anyway, we've made it down here today, so we're going to go for a walk through the streets, and we'll take you along to give you a bit of a look. It's just another historic town here in northern Victoria, but once again, beautiful and well worth a stop over. Maybe a beer or two at one of the local pubs.
And if you like your wine, it's definitely got a few wineries.
Oh, you got some wineries here. So we come to Parker Pies in Rutherglen to try out their pie. I bought the same pie as what I bought in Beechworth to make the comparison test. I've got to say it's very, very close, but I'm giving it to Beechworth today. Well, after 3 weeks, our time is finally finished here at the Police Paddocks, just on the Victorian side of the border, on the beautiful Murray River. Did you enjoy your stay, Elle?
I had a great time here. It was very nice, very quiet, very enjoyable.
It was, and that's the key word. It was quiet, besides the cicadas you can hear going in the background right now and the occasional crazy cockatoo of an afternoon. But everybody told us that the Murray gets absolutely packed out, and from people that we've spoken to here at the Police Paddocks since we've been here, they told us this gets packed at Christmas time. So everybody must have thought that this year, and hardly anyone turned up. It's been a great stay, hasn't it?
It has been a great stay, but probably next year everyone will come back again.
I'm sure they will be. It's had some hot days, but we've had no rain for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's been absolutely fantastic. And the other thing we had to do while we're here, besides the opportunity to explore this part of the region, was to work at the Woolworths in Corowa and earn ourselves a couple of dollars to keep us on the road. And I'd like to thank Paul and Amanda and the team down there, because they made us feel very welcome. And even though it's work, we quite enjoyed ourselves, didn't we?
We did. It was a great little team in Corowa Woolies, and it's a great little store as well.
It certainly is. So if you get the opportunity and you're down in this neck of the woods, make sure you pop into Corowa. It's a beautiful town, plenty of history. It was the place or the start of our federation.
It is. I didn't realise that until I came here.
Yeah, so many things to learn when you come and visit these little towns. This isn't the end of our Murray adventure. We're going to continue a little bit further along the Murray today, and we're going to go to a place called Cobram, but we are going to end the episode right here. So if you did like today's episode, make sure you give us a like before you go. If you've got any questions or comments, make sure you hit us up in the comment section. And of course, as usual, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so, because it really allows our channel to grow. But until next week, you guys have yourselves a great week. We can't wait to see you. We'll see you then.
See you next week.
Bye-bye. Isn't the reject shop where the Broncos shop for their players every year?